All right, let's get straight into it now. Words matter with our wonderful wordsmith broadcaster, Kel Richards, who joins me now from Sydney. Kel, most Australians, I have to say almost all Australians, have a lot of goodwill towards Aboriginal people, even so far as they want to get the nomenclature right? They don't want to offend anyone inadvertently. Language regarding Aboriginal people or Indigenous Australians or now these First Nations, it's changed a lot. I mean, even in my lifetime, we used a term Aboriginals, and I don't even think we use that anymore. Perhaps we're not allowed to use it. Take us through some of this language.
Okay, look, I will open up this can of worms and I'll pull out a few worms, but I can't promise to get to the bottom of the can because it's fairly complicated. Start with the word Aboriginal with a lowercase a, and it's quite old, and it was coined to mean the original inhabitants. It's Latin, actually, ab origin, from the beginning, and it was coined to name the people who lived in the Italian peninsula before the people who became the Roman Empire moved in and sort of pushed them out. So it's a very old word, and it was adopted here in the colonial era, and the authorities talked about Aboriginal natives, the natives here from the beginning. And then they dropped the word natives and they capitalised the word, and it was just Aboriginal, and that was just used in Australia to mean the natives of this country. Now, that's the way. Then Aborigine was coined to make that the noun and Aboriginal the adjective. I know this sounds confusing. I had a look at the official government style guide of 1988, and it said use Aborigine as the noun, Aboriginal as the adjective. Now, since then...
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. That's what I grew up learning. But
yes,
that's not right now, is it?
No, no. There have been objections to that. The Aboriginal Research Centre at Monash University actually came out and said they find both Aborigine and Aboriginal to be offensive because they're an echo of that colonial expression Aboriginal native, and that expression, they said, rejected their tribal identity. So they didn't like either words. So they looked around for other words. New South Wales and Victoria, they suggested we use the word Kooris. And that works for a bit, but it's a geographical problem because there are so many Aboriginal languages in Australia. In Queensland, they have to be Murris. In Western Australia, Nyunga. So that didn't work. Then some people have actually taken the word black, which was a very negative word many years ago, and they've adopted and said, now we think it's a good word and we want to use it. Noel Pearson does. Noel Pearson talks about blackfellas, and he would call himself a blackfella. So for them, it is now a positive term if used by them. But I'm not even sure, Peter, that it would be okay for us to use it. I think it's just okay for them to use it. So it is becoming a linguistically confused area because we're not getting clear guidance on what is acceptable to the people we don't want to offend, as you said.